So, are you ever tired of feeling like your English speaking isn't quite as smooth as you want it to be?
Yeah, or maybe you wish speaking just kind of flowed out more easily.
Exactly. That feeling.
It's really common, actually. You might have a good handle on the grammar, you know the rules, but then actually speaking, it feels different, stumbly.
Yeah, that gap between knowing it and like doing it, it can be super frustrating.
Total.
And that's really where today's deep dive comes in. We're looking at this technique called shadowing. Heard a lot about this one. Apparently, it's pretty powerful for boosting fluency.
It really is. Think of it almost like a shortcut, maybe,
Yeah.
to getting better pronunciation, finding that natural rhythm.
And feeling more confident, too.
Absolutely. Confidence is huge.
Okay, so our mission today is basically to unpack shadowing. What is it exactly? How do you actually do it right? What mistakes do people usually make? And, why does it even work? Why is it such a game changer?
Yeah, we want to give you the tools to make speaking English feel, well, more automatic. Less like you're constantly thinking about every single word.
Right. So let's start there. What is shadowing?
Okay, so the name itself is a pretty good clue. Imagine you're literally someone's shadow.
Okay.
But for their voice, you're not just repeating the words they say, you're trying to copy everything.
Everything. Like what?
Like how they say each sound, the pronunciation.
Yeah.
But also the intonation, the ups and downs in their voice, the rhythm, the stress on words.
Ah, okay. So it's the whole musicality of it.
Exactly. The melody of the language. And here's the really crucial bit. You do it simultaneously, almost at the exact same time as the speaker.
Without pausing the audio.
Without pausing. That's key. It forces your brain to process the English much, much faster in real time.
Ah, okay. Because you don't have time to stop and think or translate.
Precisely. That without pausing thing is what pushes you past translating in your head. You have to engage directly with the sounds, the flow.
It's like a drill for your mouth and brain.
A really immersive drill, yeah. Training those speaking muscles to react automatically.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this could be powerful. And the promise then is that if you stick with it, speaking starts to feel more natural, more automatic over time.
That's the goal, absolutely. It takes practice, of course, but it can make a really significant difference.
All right, so we know what it is. Let's dig into why it works so well. What makes shadowing such a powerful tool?
Well, there are a few layers to it. On a deeper level, it's kind of rewiring how your brain deals with English.
Oh, so?
One of the biggest things is that it helps you start thinking in English more.
Ah, okay, because you're not translating.
Exactly. There's just no time.
Oh.
You're so focused on listening and repeating immediately, that little translation step often gets bypassed. Your brain starts responding directly in English.
Which is much closer to how a native speaker operates, right?
It is. It builds that more intuitive, reactive processing of the language.
Interesting. And it's not just about speaking. You mentioned listening, too.
Oh, definitely. It sharpens your listening skills like crazy.
How does that work?
Because you have to listen so intensely to catch everything, every little sound, how words connect.
Like contractions or when words kind of blend together.
Exactly. Connected speech and stress patterns, too. You start noticing those nuances much more clearly because you're actively trying to replicate them.
So it fine-tunes your ear for the detail.
Precisely. Which makes understanding faster, more natural speech much easier down the line.
Okay, now what about different levels? Is this just for, advanced folks?
Not at all. That's one of the best things about it. It's incredibly adaptable.
So beginners can do it, too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They might start with much slower audio, maybe audio specifically designed for learners, clearer pronunciation.
Right. And advanced learners.
They can push themselves with faster, more complex stuff. News reports, podcasts, movie dialogue, whatever challenges them appropriately.
So you just find audio that's kind of right for your current level.
Exactly. It scales with you as you improve.
And it seems really practical. You don't need a teacher right there or a class.
Nope. Just you, some audio, and maybe headphones.
So you can do it on your commute or walking the dog?
Anytime, anywhere, pretty much. That independence is a huge plus. It makes it easier to fit practice into your day consistently.
Something else occurs to me. Traditional learning focuses so much on grammar rules, memorizing things.
Which is important, but...
But shadowing feels different. It feels like it's more about the sound and the flow.
It is. And by immersing yourself in that flow, you actually start to develop an intuitive feel for correct sentence structures.
Without consciously thinking about the rule.
Often, yeah. Your ear and mouth start to learn what sounds right in English. It's a more implicit way of learning grammar.
That sounds way less stressful than trying to remember verb conjugations mid-sentence.
It can be. And that ties into another big benefit, reducing pressure.
Ah, the speaking anxiety thing.
Exactly. When you're shadowing, you're not worried about what to say. You don't have to come up with original thoughts on the spot.
You're just focusing on the how.
Right. How does it sound? How does it feel to make those sounds? It takes away that cognitive load of creating content.
So you can just focus on pronunciation, rhythm.
And getting comfortable with the physical act of speaking English. Building confidence without the pressure of a real conversation.
Yeah, I can see how that would lower the stakes and make it feel safer to practice. Okay, this all sounds great. How do we actually do it effectively? Let's get into the step-by-step.
All right, let's break it down. Having a structured approach definitely helps maximize the benefits.
Step 1, I assume, is finding something to listen to.
Absolutely. Choose the right audio. You want clear, natural-sounding speech.
Like podcasts, interviews.
Those are great. Speeches, maybe some movie scenes if the dialogue isn't too fast or slangy. The key is natural conversation.
And should it be easy or hard?
Good question. You want something slightly challenging, but not so hard that you can't follow along at all. Find that sweet spot.
Okay, and transcripts. Helpful. Hugely helpful, especially at the beginning. If you can find audio with a transcript, grab it. It lets you check words you miss.
Got it. So choose your audio. Step 2.
Step 2, just listen first. Don't try to speak yet.
Oh, okay. Why?
You want to absorb it. Listen through once or twice, focusing on the pronunciation, the rhythm, the intonation. Get a feel for the flow before you try to jump in.
Like a mental warm-up.
Exactly. Prepare your ears and brain.
Okay, listened. Now step 3, the actual shadowing.
Now you shadow. Play the audio again, and this time speak along with it, simultaneously.
In real time. No pausing.
No pausing. Don't aim for perfection, especially at first. Just try to keep up. If you miss words, keep going.
Focus on the melody.
Yes. Focus on matching that melody. The tone, the pitch, the stress patterns. That's often more important than getting every single word perfect initially.
Okay. Keep up. Match the melody. Step 4.
Repetition. This is crucial. Don't just shadow a piece once.
Do it in.
And again. Repeat the same sentence or short section multiple times. Keep going until it feels smoother, more effortless.
Building that muscle memory we talked about.
Precisely. It needs repetition to sink in.
Okay. Step 5.
Record yourself.
Ooh, I can see people maybe not loving that idea.
It can feel weird, I know. But it's so valuable. Listen back to your recording and compare it to the original.
And you'll hear the differences.
You'll likely hear exactly where your pronunciation or intonation differs. It gives you super specific feedback on what to work on.
Okay, makes sense. Painful maybe, but useful. Step 6.
Pace yourself with speed. Start slower if you need to.
Like find slower audio or...
You can find slower audio or use playback speed controls if your player has them. Many do now. Slow it down to maybe 0.75x speed at first.
And then gradually increase it?
Yeah. As you get comfortable, work your way back up to normal speed and maybe even faster eventually if you want a real challenge.
Okay. Start slow, build up,
Yeah.
and the last step, step 7.
Consistency. Practice daily.
Every single day.
If possible, yes. Even 10 or 15 minutes a day makes a huge difference over time. Short, regular bursts are better than one long session once a week.
Right. Make it a habit.
That's the key. Habit formation.
Okay, that's a clear plan. Choose audio, listen, shadow in real time, repeat, record, adjust speed, practice daily. But even with a plan, things can go wrong, right? What are the common mistakes people make?
Oh yeah, definitely some common pitfalls to watch out for. Knowing them can help you avoid frustration.
Okay, lay them on us. What's mistake number 1?
Probably the most common. Choosing audio that's way too difficult.
Right, trying to run before you can walk.
Exactly. If the speaker is too fast or the vocabulary is too advanced, you'll just get lost and discouraged.
So the fixes?
Start easier. Learner podcasts, slow news reports, things like that. Then gradually increase the difficulty as you improve. Don't try to shadow, like a rapid-fire auctioneer on day 1.
Good advice. Okay, what else?
Not actually speaking out loud.
Just mouthing the words or
Yeah.
thinking them.
Yeah. Some people feel self-conscious, so they just whisper or mouth along.
Mm-hmm.
But you need the vocal practice. That's the whole point.
But you have to actually make the sound.
You have to engage those speech muscles. Recording yourself helps ensure you're actually speaking at a reasonable volume, too.
Okay, speak up. Got it. Next mistake.
Trying to be perfect right away. Stopping and starting constantly.
The perfectionist trap.
Totally. Look, shadowing is about fluency and flow first, then refinement. If you stop every time you slightly mispronounce something, you lose the rhythm.
So just keep going, even with mistakes.
Keep going. Native speakers aren't perfect either. Focus on staying with the speaker's pace and melody. Smoothness over absolute perfection, especially early on.
Okay, don't stop. What else trips people up?
Ignoring intonation and stress. Focusing only on the words.
But we said the melody is key.
It is. But it's easy to forget and just focus on pronouncing the words correctly. You need to actively listen for how they say things, the rise and fall, the emphasis.
Any tips for practicing that?
Try exaggerating it. Really mimic the speaker's ups and downs, even if it feels silly. If they say, I really like it, you say, I really like it. Over time, it becomes more natural.
Okay, exaggerate the melody. Good tip. What else?
Not enough repetition.
We mentioned this in the steps, but people still skip it.
Yeah, they might shadow a clip once and think, okay, done. But you need that repetition to really internalize the patterns.
So it has to be a habit.
Daily habit. That consistency is what builds the skill. Repetition is your friend here.
Makes sense. One more.
Final common mistake. Jumping straight into shadowing without listening first.
Skipping step 2 of our plan.
Exactly. If you haven't tuned your ear to the speaker's flow and pronunciation first, trying to shadow immediately is much harder. You're trying to listen, process, and speak all at once with no prep.
So always listen first. At least once.
At least once, just to get oriented, hear the connections, the rhythm. It makes the actual shadowing much smoother.
Okay, great list of things not to do. So we know what it is, why it works, how to do it, and what mistakes to avoid. Now, how about putting it into practice?
Yeah, let's make this practical. Time for a challenge.
I like it. Let's issue a challenge. We're calling it the 7-Day Shadowing Challenge.
Okay, simple and actionable.
The goal. Just 10 minutes of shadowing practice every single day for the next 7 days.
10 minutes. That's totally doable for most people.
Right. Doesn't matter where, home, commute, walk. Just get those 10 minutes in for a week straight. Consistency is the name of the game.
Okay, so how does the challenge work each day?
Simple steps. First, pick a short audio clip, maybe 1 to 2 minutes long. Podcast snippet, YouTube clip, whatever. Clear, natural speech.
Got it. 1 to 2 minutes.
Then listen to it through once or twice. No speaking. Just focus on the sound, the rhythm, the intonation.
Step 2 from our guide. Prepare the ear.
Exactly. Then start shadowing. Play it again. Speak along in real time. Don't pause. Keep going. Focus on that melody. And then repeat that shadowing part at least 3 times. So listen once or twice, then shadow the same clip 3 times through.
Okay, listen, the shadow times 3. That sounds like a solid 10-minute routine.
Right. And here's a cool way to see the results. Record yourself on day 1.
Okay.
Then shadow the same clip again on day 7 and record yourself again.
Ah, a before and after comparison.
Exactly. Compare the 2 recordings. We're pretty confident you'll hear a difference in your flow, maybe pronunciation, speed.
That's a great motivator.
Yeah.
Seeing tangible progress.
The biggest thing is just doing it every day for that week. Don't skip a day.
Consistency for 7 days straight.
And maybe mix it up a bit. Don't use the exact same type of audio every single day for the week.
Good idea. Try podcast one day, maybe a bit of a TED Talk the next, a movie scene.
Yeah, expose yourself to different styles, different voices.
Keeps it interesting and builds more versatile skills.
And another tip while you're doing the challenge, try to copy the speaker's emotions.
Ooh, good one. Like if they sound excited.
Sound excited too. If they're calm, match that tone. It makes your shadowing, and eventually your speaking, sound much more natural and expressive.
Adds another layer beyond just the mechanics. Connects to meaning.
Totally. And hey, this doesn't have to be a solo journey.
Find a buddy.
Yeah. If you know someone else learning English, invite them to do the 7-day challenge with you. Keep each other motivated.
Accountability partners always help. Makes it more fun, too.
Definitely. And look, if you do take on this challenge, we genuinely love to hear how it goes.
Yeah, share your experiences. What did you learn? What improvements did you notice?
How did shadowing feel for you? It could really help other listeners, too.
Absolutely.
So the challenge is out there. Are you ready to give it a shot? We really think this technique has huge potential.
It does. When you look at language learning methods, shadowing offers this really direct route to improving the sound and feel of spoken English pretty quickly, if you're consistent.
Yeah, that potential for relatively fast improvement is exciting. Okay, so let's maybe just quickly pull together the main takeaways from our deep dive today.
Sounds good. Let's recap.
We've established that shadowing is way more than just repeating words.
It's mirroring everything. Pronunciation, rhythm, intonation in real time.
Which helps you start thinking in English, boosts your listening skills.
And it's accessible, right? Anyone can do it anywhere, anytime.
Plus, it helps build that intuitive grammar sense and lowers speaking anxiety.
Then we laid out the steps. Choose audio. Listen first, shadow simultaneously, repeat, record yourself, adjust speed, and practice daily.
And we covered those common mistakes. Audio too hard, not speaking aloud, perfectionism, ignoring intonation, not enough repetition, and skipping the listening part.
Right. Avoiding those makes the practice much more effective.
And finally, we've got the 7-day challenge, 10 minutes a day, to really experience the benefits firsthand.
The core message through all of this.
Consistency.
Consistency is absolutely key. That regular, focused practice is what drives the results.
So imagine, just think about how much more confident, how much more natural your English could potentially sound just 1 week from now if you take this on.
It's a powerful thought.
Are you ready to give your fluency that boost? Ready for the 7-day shadowing challenge?